Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS Epoll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. A noticeable intensification of political activity heralds the start of a new election cycle. The opposition has been actively unveiling its slate of candidates, while the incumbent party has also been hosting a series of public engagements. While the Constitution mandates that general elections must be held no later than late 2026, the Prime Minister retains the prerogative to call an election at any point before that deadline. So we ask, do you believe general elections will be called in Saint Lucia during 2025? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
Well, kalimo mania ikale la yan dout li de makadime ikai kuye, ide makadime ipakai kuye. So peut-être peut kuye en fin l'année et ben commencement l'année prochaine. Mania nga we de parti ka campagne, maka we tous les de ka campagne wed. Maka di Philippe Jean-Pierre pas ka font bon travail, maka di il ka font vieux travail. Tous les deux c'est campagne ka campagne so on mette kweze bra nou regarder qui ça qui fait. Mais l'idée maka di mon ba qui fait soon.
I don't think so. Whilst I noticed that the campaign is being intensified, I think everyone has a right to have their own opinion, and we should all respect each other's opinion. People have a right to voice their opinions, and whether you are voting for this one or that one, we could all come to realization that we have to come to respect in one another's opinion. People are being sensitized, and that's part of the political vibe. So we have to respect each other's opinion. That's how I see it.
I don't think so, but if it called this year, it is okay that Saint Lucia Labour Party will get back into office by 100%. I am certain. Because the way they're intensifying their campaign, I think so.
Monday si ba kuye next year mo sa lanisa city lanisa sila ni election campaign but si ba kuye lanisa next year kuye because mo have kuye term because mo have campaign probably you kuye lanisa pour we so by mo have exactly si akwani kuye lanisa.
I think elections will be called next year with the way the parties have intensified the campaign. I believe it might be early next year, but it will definitely be next year.
Well, you see, Collie, I'll answer that in a classic way. 24 hours is a long time in politics. You know, and those things are not necessarily predetermined. It's driven by situations, conditions on the ground. And right now, the situation is quite fluid. There's a lot going on. There are goals that have been set by the government that were not met. So it's really in the balance. You know, I initially predicted we would have an election late year or early next year. I still want to hold to that. But as I prefaced, 24 hours is a long time in politics, and you never know what crisis, what major situation would present that would cause a shift in that.
Well, I don't believe election going to call this year, regardless of the different parties who are organizing the campaign at that time. But I don't believe that they will call elections. I'm looking forward for next year for election. You know, that is my take on that.
No, I don't really think election will call this year because even though the two parties are really this, but I believe it early 2026. I believe the election will call, but not this year.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a member of parliament, but as a citizen, I can't wait for it to call. You know, I mean, the US give us 60 days, which right now we have 58 days. But if they could just give us the election today, ready.
I don't think it will be called this year. I'm hoping maybe early next year, just before June or so, but not this year because I don't believe that the Labour Party has fulfilled all of the promises, and some of them are ongoing. And I believe that they would want to complete everything before the election, and I'm hoping that by maybe March, April, May, thereabout, we might have an election there. And I believe that you give 5 years, at least you have to do 5 years. Do call election 4 years. It is always wise to do the term that you put you there to do. At least you can call it 2-3 months before the 5 years, but to call elections before the 5 years, I do think that is a very good thing.
Election can call this year because the same way, the same 5 years ago, when they are ready for election, they didn't call it because he take his time and say, well, when he ready, he'll call it. But this year he can't give them no pressure to call election unless we Saint Lucians are ready. It's when we ready, Pierre go say yes. Unless we ain't ready, he ain't going to like Trump to think, well, he could rule things and let we suffer. We ain't on that.
Now to our new discussion. St. Lucia's economic landscape presents a study in contrasting indicators. Governmental reports highlight positive labor market trends, showcasing a reduction in unemployment by 8.8% in late 2024. This achievement is juxtaposed with IMF assessments that project a moderation in medium-term growth alongside a public debt level of 74.5% of GDP. While inflation has been contained, fiscal deficits remain a point of concern. The island's economic trajectory is further influenced by its vulnerability to external shocks, including global economic fluctuations and natural disasters. So we asked, are you optimistic about St. Lucia's economic trajectory? Remember, our Epoll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.